There is a lot going on at the Capitol as Congress is back in session for 2 months until their August recess. Republicans have been in power for almost 6 months, but their signature promises of repealing Obamacare, defunding Planned Parenthood, and reforming the tax code still have not yet reached the president's desk. Capitol Hill correspondent Jason Calvi is with us this evening. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening, Lauren. The number 2 Senate Republican John Cornyn has pledged that health care reform will get done by the end of July at the latest. And this week, the president is giving new marching orders promising big changes for the nation's highways, waterways, and airways.
If we adopt these changes, Americans can look forward to cheaper, faster, and safer travel.
President Trump unveils his plan to privatize the nation's air traffic control system, a move supported by the airlines.
We're still stuck with an ancient, broken, antiquated, horrible system.
It's part of the president's push this week to invest in infrastructure, including an overhaul of the nation's roads and bridges, but it may be difficult to pass.
The White House projecting optimism on having a package passed by the House and Senate this year is new because of everything else on plate of lawmakers right now. It wasn't something they were expected to push through, but it's something that at one point had bipartisan support. The environment has gotten so politicized and so partisan that it's not clear that it's any longer a nonpartisan issue.
The pivot to infrastructure comes as health care remains in limbo in the Senate after it barely passed the House. White House correspondent Sarah Westwood says Republican senators can't even agree on the bill.
There is no consensus on even the broad outline of what Obamacare repeal should look like.
The bill the House sent to the Senate would strip Planned Parenthood of Medicaid funds for 1 year.
I want to fully fund Planned Parenthood and women's health care.
Hundreds of people protested the president on the National Mall this weekend. But his supporters also rallied USA outside the White House.
Hopefully, as he moves along his agenda, people will see that he really has the best intentions.
A major distraction for Republican goals is the investigation into Russian meddling of the 2016 election. Former FBI Director James Comey will testify here Thursday in his first public statements since he was fired by the president. Lauren?
There is still a lot of work to be done for Republicans, and I've heard House Republicans blaming the Senate, but they have achieved several wins.
That's right. The largest one that you hear from Republicans again and again here on the Hill is the confirmation of Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch, as well as they point to the conservative cabinet that also was approved by the Senate here. So now we're looking at health care, and there's talk that it could be passed by July, but there's also a lot of skepticism here on the Hill. Lauren?
Correspondent Jason Calvi on Capitol Hill. Thank you so much, Jason.